At school I was very academic, so I always struggled with that because I thought if I'm academic I can't be musical. But I really loved history and I loved English, and it was difficult at school, but I think these days I really search for those things. If I struggle with my playing, or I worry about things, or I feel non-inspired, I always look to those things to find ways to further myself. So I like to go to look at art, or watch ballet, and read a lot. I read really a lot. But yeah, I think it's just generally a process of growing yourself in the way that you want to. And you cannot help what influences you. Everything you do influences you throughout the whole of your life. I just try to fill my life with the things that I enjoy, and then I hope that that comes across in my playing without trying to force it. I become so interested with the nature of improvisation and what actually happens when you're on stage. And I took some concerts last week I played some concerts last week where I decided that I would just improvise a section of the concert and give myself some titles, and that it wouldn't actually have to be something that was decided before. So I would just play with the atmosphere in the room, and then I would take another movement and I would say a title as I was playing that just I thought fitted with or contrasted with what was happening at the time. And I'm so intrigued by that at the moment, because then it is really you. You know, when you can just feel, so if you're playing, and that's why I play really quiet, I think, as well. I really love to explore all of the different timbres of quiet sounds that you can make on the guitar, because it really draws people in, and you can really feel that it's electric when you're playing. And I think that's something so interesting, and it happens with repertoire that you feel incredibly comfortable with, that you can change it constantly, that it's always fluid. So you know the notes, you know the ideas, but yet you don't lose that sense that it can always change in any moment, depending on who's there, or what time of day it is, or how you're feeling, or what size room it is. All these different things contribute so much when you play. And for me, that's the most important thing. It's more important than to play the right thing, or when you are listening to what people are receiving from you, you're listening deeper than you can listen when you're just alone. The reason that I chose to record the Prelude, Fugue and Allegro is because I think that they're beautiful pieces, and I know that they're often played, and really often played, and I know that everybody has their opinion of it, but I just feel like I wanted to be able to record from myself a moment in time of something that for me is incredibly honest music, as also a good estimation of myself and what I'm doing. And I think in that music it's incredibly transparent, because with Bach you can never, or I feel that you can never really own it, that it can never really belong to you what you're playing, and I just think that there is something really special in seeing what you do at this particular moment, and for me that was important now. do everything because of who I am. That is true. I don't necessarily think the fact that I'm 21 or the fact that I'm a girl have so much to do with what I'm doing. People assume that your being a girl is integral to the way that you play because of the constructs of society that make us believe that being female changes everything that you do. I don't want to sound really crazy when I say that. I think that I'm emotional without it being attached to gender. That's just who I am. I always have felt things in that way, and I know men who also feel things the same way, cry at every movie, or there are people who just are affected by everything, and I'm just one of those people. I don't think it has anything to do with gender at all. I just feel a big responsibility to point it out to people, or to make sure that they understand that giving a prejudice to someone who's really young, so say for instance 13 or 14 years old, I think it's the place of people who feel assured of who they are, to stand up for those people, to show them that even just through small jokes or things, that they cannot be compromised in what they think they can do, or their abilities, or their musicality, or anything. No girl is less able than a boy to do anything. That's just a fact. I would love to see a change in the classical music climate, let's say, for everybody, I think. Generally speaking, yes. That it should be more accessible, because we only listen to the greats, and then you listen to all of these really, not silly things, but you listen to all of the light music that makes people happy, and people hear once and they think, wow, I really like that. You never listen to those really core things that can really bust your life apart. Like, I don't know, songs my mother taught me of Dvorak, or the piano quintet in A major of Dvorak, or like the string quartet of Debussy, or Enescu octets, or things like that really, we never hear that in the classical music 50 top. I mean, I would love to see people more interested in those things, because it's chilling and it stays with you forever, and it can be one of the most intense and emotional experiences of your life to hear music like that, just like watching a movie, the same thing. You have to look good, but actually you have to be about brains. But actually, why do you have to be about any of those things? No one's saying that you have to do anything. You can just turn up and be whatever you want. And on stage, that's so important. I used to worry for the final moments before walking on stage of what I look like. Before I walk on stage, sorting out my hair, or making sure that it's, my top is high enough, or that I'm not revealing anything. God forbid that you really reveal anything while you are on stage, because then what are you going to be, slutty, or people are not going to be able to concentrate. But the problem is not with you, really. And it's up to people who play well, and people who have a goal in guitar, to align this inequality. It's really inequality.